Someone remind me after this review to look for Volume 1's cover so I can stop using this colored picture in the background. But anyway, this chapter, I'm slightly nervous based off of like what happens near the end and kind of the setting we're in. It has a little bit of red flags in my opinion, but maybe it's just like the way that the tone of the chapter is. But started out, I really like the color page. I like to add that big dragonfly. It makes me kind of wish that Enma used something like it, because his whole thing is sound. I feel like a dragonfly could definitely kind of like play into that, do something like the wings and stuff. But we see some of Riku's training, and she's like in this room with all this water, and Yayoi gives her a ring, and so she can kind of like control the water. I'm guessing it's, you know, like just a general like manipulation of your powers kind of thing. Nothing kind of crazy, just like a basics. And just looking at it, like her whole thing, and she's like trying to control this water, and she messes up. She just kind of gets knocked down. I was like thinking about this while she was doing it. I'm like, I feel like if you were training this, at least for me, even messing up, as long as no one's watching you screw up. Like, if Yayoi is there, I don't know. I feel like it would just kind of get like little, I think that would be like a very big factor of like not being self-conscious about like messing up. Because she's not just like a good shaman. She's like near the top. So I don't know. I feel like that would just be in of itself like an extra layer of like nerve-wracking for this training. So for me, like the fact that she was kind of like by herself trying to get the basics down probably helped a lot. And I don't know. I just think just something I wanted to note for like for this chapter. I feel like if she was watching, I'd be too embarrassed after like so many failures. And like, can I try later or something? Can they take a break? But Riku just doesn't want to. She doesn't want to be useless, and she wants to just get to a point where she can help. So she's, you know, putting 100% in every single time, which I thought was really nice. But seeing Iori go against, was it Senju Doji? I think this fight just in general is really neat, and he's like pissed off, going for slashes, just trying to attack her and trying to, you know, destroy her. And to mess with him, she brings out all these the beckoning hands that she has captured, and it's revealed that the reason that Iori was like all fired up, so aggressive, was actually a plan. It was all a fake. He was just trying to get her to bring out her hostages, so he could kind of like try and figure out a way to save them, which again is really smart for him. I thought that was actually a really good twist, because it was like him getting pissed off was something that I think you could predict, and it was something that even if you saw it coming, it made sense. But it's like, no, in this actual situation, even if he hates this this phantom, he's being very calm and collected and being very kind of prepared for this, which means that he's not just kind of like thinking this on the spot. This is something he probably like just formed a long time of like, okay, when I meet her, I need to do this, and then I need to be careful. I know she's gonna try these things, and then combining that with getting the hostages back, I thought was really smart. I thought that was really smart in his character, and a really kind of nice display of something about this main character that makes him stand out, because he as a character definitely stands out in comparison to a lot of other main characters. And I don't mean that in a negative way to other main characters, but he is already very different from just like being kind of selfish, being kind of like having kind of like a very lazy and problematic personality at times. Like generally a lot of main characters, despite like differences between them, they have like a degree of just general good nature to them, and Iori doesn't have that. His seems to be more in like outside of his job, when it's like, okay, I have to save somebody's life. No, I can't let this person die. Like, he doesn't seem to have that kind of a more emotional connection. He seems to more just have that like standard human like want for like people around him not to die kind of thing. But he's like doing some clashes. I really like the panel where him and Senju Doji, and like, hey, it's got Okiongi, or I think that's what it's called, is his phantom. I think it's Ongyoki or something. He has it like they're just getting like a big clash, and like, you know, he has their hands kind of like smashed into Senju Doji's hands. I thought that was just generally really cool, but he just has to get these guys all kind of just kind of brought out to get his plan going, and then he has his sister bring in Riku, which is a really weird twist. This was at the end, though. Even if this panel is really cool, because I like the panel. I like that she's floating and she's got like her hand like kind of like out with like her like just the way that it's angled with like her wrist kind of up, and it looks like she's trying to cast a spell, and it gives her kind of almost just like this like witch sorceress kind of vibe. I thought was really cool. But there's some potential red flags in this, and that's something I mentioned earlier that has me a little worried. Now, granted, this is based off an assumption, but it's assumptions that I think people can see very potentially as real. So Iori, or not Iori, Riku, like starting her training and then already has like some degree of control, obviously is like a very picked up the pace kind of thing. But also they're going against now what I would assume, this is an assumption, a very like very story important Phantom. Because to me, like this, it could easily be that Senju Doji is just going to be kind of like an early arc villain, and maybe like the only reason that people would think that it's going to be a way bigger deal is because it ties in the main character's backstory. Whereas maybe it won't actually be nearly as big as it's supposed to be, and it's just the idea of the, you know, oh, it has to do with the main character, so it must be like a much bigger character kind of thing. Because to me, it could be something like Bleach had Grand Fisher. Like, if you've read Bleach, you know Grand Fisher, obviously with Ichigo's mom and stuff. But it's not like Grand Fisher was like some big villain in the long run. It's like he was strong in the beginning, he was beaten, later he came back, but it's not like he was important kind of thing. Or it could be like, what was it? Hellward Teguma was a series that ran in Shonen Jump for a while, and it had like a similar, not the same character, but kind of a character for that main character of a similar role that Senju Doji has for Iori. And it was like building him up with like the first kind of just display of him, and then the series unfortunately got canceled, so it was just kind of rushed through him really fast. And that's the potential vibes right now. Maybe they're just kind of gonna scare away Senju Doji, and Senju Doji will kind of like nope, and then they'll save for a later date. Or maybe Senju Doji isn't actually like a big deal, and it's more of like it's tied to the main character's backstory, but it's not like it's gonna have a lasting effect. It's kind of a very weird spot right now, because Phantom Seer, from what I've seen, it hasn't done bad, it's done okay, but it's well received by the people who have actually read it. Like, people like the art, people like the characters. I think it's interesting so far. It just needs to survive the Shonen Jump acts, and if it can do that, like, I think it'll pick up a lot more readers, because there is like a weird mentality around new series now, where there are people that just won't start them unless they get beyond the axe point, because they're not gonna just try and get invested in something or it to get canceled. I'm hoping it doesn't. Like, I like Phantom Seer. I think it's interesting. I think that the art and the characters are both fun. So I'm hoping that it does not get canceled, then it keeps going. But anyway, other than that, though, comment below, thumbs up the video, prefer the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everyone's already subscribed. Thank you all for listening. Bye.